Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can see the
Okay.
title.
Welcome. And we have some presentation about applying digital technology in higher education with my dear colleague Gamze Kapucu. I'm Ramazan Erol. Nice to meet you. I'm working assistant professor in mathematics education department, and my colleague Gamze works in English language teaching department in our faculty in Turkey. By the way, we have some sorry. Sunucuma da açık değil mi? Ben de görüyorum. Şeyi görüyor musun? Ha, tamam, o zaman o şekilde gideceğiz. Tamam. Yok, yok herhalde ya. Bu şekilde kullanabiliyorsan ne dersin? Okay. In today's sessions, we will explore the transformative impact of digital technology in higher education. Our goal is to understand how these technologies are integrated into teaching and learning, how they enhance student engagement and success, and how they reshape the teaching experience. Let's begin by discussing why digital integration is critical in higher education. We began the presentation about this. Sorry, okay. We will begin with introduction, overview of the digital technology in education. Why is the digital integration critical in higher education? Goals of today's session: introduce digital tools, pedagogical methods, and their practical application. We will explore the transformative impact of digital technologies in higher education. As I said, the use of digital technologies in education is well documented as means to Laurie Lart mentioned in 2013, transform pedagogy through interactive student-centered approaches. And by the way, enhance engagement and accessibility. Other way, promote collaboration and communication. It's very important in digital technologies in education. We can say about this with the literature review. Supporting personalized learning, Johnson et al. And Vogel et al. Mentioned that prepare students for future digital demands. What can we say? By integrating these digital tools and the platforms, educators are able to create more flexible keywords, I think, in digital technologies in higher education, accessible and effective learning environments that meet the evolving needs of students in higher education. We can say that. Enhancing student engagement and motivation. Motivation is the pedagogical approaches as you can anything. Real-time feedback. We said that real-time feedback is very important in education, especially. Then, according to the Siemens, Siemens said that adaptive technologies allow for differentiated instruction, enabling learners to engage with content that matches their individual skills and knowledge levels, thus making education more accessible and efficient. It's the very important keyword, I think, accessible and efficient. By the way, Laurel Lart emphasized that importance of technology in creating collaborative learning environments where students can actively engage with peers and instructors. This fosters community of learners who can share knowledge and develop critical thinking skills. Critical thinking skills, it's very important, especially in the 21st century's based skills. Critical thinking, if you want another presentation about, we can make a critical thinking skills as you want. my colleague Vera. Critical thinking skills, especially our daily life or our educational life, everywhere, we must or we have to use the critical thinking skills, and we teach our students engage with technology in education. Preparing students for the future digital workforce, because the digital integration is crucial in higher education, because in increasingly digital world, as you know, social media or digitalism or globalization, increasingly digital world, higher education institutions have a responsibility to prepare students for the future work environments that are dominated by technology. Integrating digital tools into curriculum helps students develop essential digital literacy and the problem solving and the collaboration skills, which are the crucial for the success, as I said, 21st century workforce. In our curriculum, primary school curriculum, we change this year's, especially digital literacy, artificial intelligence, problem solving and collaboration skills into the curricular integration in our curriculum, as we said. The importance of digital technologies in higher education. Digital technologies are reshaping every aspect of education, enhancing students' engagement and motivation, facilitating personalized learning paths, supporting collaboration and communication, preparing students for digital literacy in a globalized world. Digital technologies are reshaping, as I said, every aspect of education, from increasing student engagement, as I said, facilitating personalized learning. Personalized learning, it's very important in digital technology and especially artificial intelligence era. Personalized learning is increasingly very important. These tools are indispensable in the modern classroom. Let's take a closer look why their integration is so important and enhancing teaching and learning outcomes. And now, my theoretical framework about the digital technology in higher education. Why is the importance? I mentioned some theoretical framework. Now, pedagogical approaches and some applications in our education area. My dear colleague Gamze continue the presentation.
Yes, thank you, Hocam. Can you hear my voice? Are there any problems with my voice? Because we are right now in the same room, so I'm not sure if there is any, echoes or some problem like that.
Everything is okay. We can see and hear you perfectly.
All right, thank you very much. And it's so nice to see so many faces on a platform like this. So thank you for opening your cameras. Please feel free. Do not hesitate to interrupt, ask any questions, or add anything you want during my presentation. So if it's possible now, I'd like to share my own screen. Okay. But not this one. Yes, Hocam, can you please? Because, yeah. Not this one, I guess. Şu durdur diyebilir miyiz?
We can see us twice in two places on the same screen.
Yeah,
No.
now you're seeing
the beginning.
yourself, right?
Okay.
Şu an açtık mı şeyi? Şu anda.
So digital resources in action.
Yeah. I never use Google Meet actually. That's why Hocam, he's helping me. Thank you very much. He's the master of these apps.
It's the way of collaboration.
Acaba ekran paylaşma
Pencere
izin
paylaş.
verince Mac oldu ama
Yok,
aynı.
oradan değil. Bu da değil.
Şey şu. Hı. Ama açmıyor.
Yok.
Sizin bilgisayardan mı yapsam?
Olur, hiç problem değil. Bunu yapacağız bir dakika.
I just suggested that I move on to his computer, but we have to do this because, you know, this is our area right now.
Okay, do whatever you want
Yeah.
to just be able to continue.
Okay.
Şuradan paylaşmayı göstereyim. Benim de bilgisayara geçeyim.
So you are going to just demonstrate us your calibration. So Ramazan will show the pictures and you will comment them on. It seems to me. No.
Hocam buradan paylaşabiliriz.
Some technical problems. It's okay. It's what?
Tamam, devam et. Onları görmezsin.
Pedagogical approaches to digital learning, just methods of teaching. It's great. Now we can see the first slide of your presentation. Or now we can't.
Okay.
But we do hope it will return.
Şöyle. Ama buradan
Oh.
takip et.
Now we see.
Şeyi göremezsin. Diğerleri göremezsin.
Okay, I'm not able to see you guys while I'm presenting.
But we
Alright.
can see you.
Yeah, we'll manage it. Thank you. Okay. Because now they can see my screen, no problem.
We can see your picture.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
And we
Şeyden
can see you.
Yes.
şuradan da bir şey açayım mı? Sunum görünümde mi yoksa böyle böyle mi dersin?
This is okay.
Böyle
I
iyi
don't
mi?
know. Yeah.
Tamam, o zaman şöyle. Sunum görünümü mü olsun? Böyle mi olsun?
Böyle olur.
Böyle iyi mi?
Gerekirse açarım.
Tamam. Bakayım sen de nasıl yapıyorsun? Tamam.
Yes. All right. Now we're good. But I don't hear anything from this computer. I'm hearing from that one. Yes. Thank you. All right. Yeah. Sorry for the wait. All right. Yes. So I'm going to talk about the approaches and some tools to digital learning and why is it still important. So as our example in real life showed you, now as we move on from the pandemic, the teachers are not very willing to use these digital technologies as much as we have to do in the past. So why is it still important? I think here the context of higher education is very important for this because for higher education, we need some higher order thinking skills. So in order to allow for time during class, we may choose to use some approaches like blended learning, or in other words, B-learning, to combine face-to-face teaching with some online components. Why is it useful to use such approaches, let's say? Because we know that they are more learner-centered. So we are giving the autonomy to the learners to take control of their own learning. And it is definitely more flexible concerning time and space. Students, learners can be more active. The platform allows for a more interactive learning environment. So the learners are also interactive. They're in interaction with each other. There are also more channels to communicate between, for example, from between learner and learner, learner and teacher, learner and the contents and online content. And also, if you, we will mention it later, but if you have some sources, some material in these platforms, they can also interact with the content more freely, and also some external sources of information. So that is why integrating these technologies is still very important for higher education, actually. Also, as you know, teachers' workload is divided between half the assessments and half the teaching job. So some platforms allow us to get some help from these tools to, assess. It can be formative assessment or summative blended learning model. So we actually combine learning environment. It can be synchronous or asynchronous instructional methods. So it is very important also to choose which instructional methods we can choose for this online, which one is more appropriate, more suitable for online learning. This is also very important. So there are a lot of decision making stages actually that's going on to this process, and also what sources of media can we use. So it's a blend of all of these let's say decision making components that we have to actually juggle between for online learning to be more efficient. So another thing that we can use is flipped classrooms. I'm sure you've heard of it. Maybe you're actually in the process of doing it yourself. I'm not very sure. Have you tried it? I cannot see you, but if you want to just, have a comment here, if you tried it or not.
I'm sorry, can I ask a question?
Of course, yes.
Yeah, about this blended learning. You mean like it's kind of like hybrid learning? So the part of the
Mhm.
students they working on like on site and part of them online simultaneously?
Yes. For example, if you have some platforms like LMS, have you ever used it? This learning management
No,
system.
never, but I have experienced this kind of like hybrid lessons. Yeah, when the part of the group is online and part of the group is on site, like
Ah,
actually present in a class, and it's impossible.
no,
It's
not
impossible to
like
work
that.
like
I'm
that.
sorry. I misunderstood your first
Oh,
statement then. Not like that. I
mhm.
mean, when we say this learning management system, it's more like, so you have a face-to-face class, all right? So the
Uh-huh.
students are there present in the classroom, but for example, you have some sources, some materials, some homework, or I don't know, some maybe a YouTube video. So you have some material that you want to upload to this platform,
Mhm.
and maybe you just assess or make sure that all the students get an access to these sources through this platform. So actually it's not like half online half face to face. That's not what we're talking about, but we are using it to support our face to face lessons. Am I
Mhm.
making sense now?
Yeah, completely. I'm sorry, I'm just misunderstood, so.
Yeah, no. Hybrid teaching is very challenging. I agree with you, and it's not very possible to do unless you are like a school like Harvard University, or if you have a really great technology that allows for a hybrid teaching environment. Actually, I joined some of Birmingham and Lancaster universities hybrid lessons, and it doesn't work for them either. So this is not like that. This is just for sharing some sources, some assessment tools, just media. Think of it
Okay,
like.
I got it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So it means that not the part of the group is online, but the part of the lesson, the part of the
Definitely.
activities.
Yes, definitely. What about my other question? Have you used flipped classroom before? İnternetimiz mi gitti?
Frankly speaking, not.
Okay. Huh. Yes.
It will be a kind of new experience.
New experience. Okay, so you haven't tried it before? Um, for flipped classrooms, actually, students learn the content of the lecture online, and then the teachers, the lecturers choose to use the class time for active learning. So, what do we mean by active learning? I mean, it allows for the students to discuss, interact with each other more in class, because actually they're doing most of the learning outside the class, so outside the class hours. So, we structure these courses around the idea that lecture or direct instruction is not the best use of this class time. So instead, the students encounter this information before class, and it frees our class time for activities that involve higher order thinking skills. For example, ELT students may watch some grammar videos, grammar teaching videos at home, and then discuss the applications in the class or do some more practice in class. So it allows for more time to spend on the practice or the productive parts in the classroom. We also did this for my master's studies. Actually, our teachers, our lecturers chose to use flipped classroom. So, for example, each week we had some topic that we had to cover, and they actually posted a video of themselves teaching the content. And we had to watch and learn and do some of the readings that they assigned before. So when the class actually started in its own time, we had the knowledge already because we already watched the lesson. We already did our readings. So in the classroom, we actually just summarized what we learned and we had more time to discuss other theoretical issues or some practical issues. So we had more time. Flipped classrooms are actually very useful for that. And I think this is more useful for higher education as well. Because if you want to conduct this with younger ages, it may not be very possible. There are a lot of drawbacks for doing this with younger students. So as I mentioned, flipped classrooms are also very flexible. We can learn at our own pace. So if I have a video lesson that my teacher uploaded, I can choose to do it whenever I decide, just until the class time. And students can take more responsibility of their learning. They can learn rather than encounter the material in the classroom. And as I said, there are more opportunities for higher level learning, and we don't waste time just transferring this information to students when that information is already available to them in books or online or in self-made videos, whatever you choose to upload there. So instructors can get to work more closely with students, and they may get to know students better in class time, and they may provide better assistance to them thanks to that. And it also increases collaboration between students in real class time, we can say. So what are some tools? We are going to cover some digital tools that can be used for higher education. One of them is what we already mentioned, LMS, Learning Management System. So here we have this app called Moodle. And we use it to, as I said, create and manage online courses, or it doesn't even have to be a course. It can be a forum, a discussion forum, or you may upload some quizzes. You may do them in real time too, like build a quiz and then the students, all of them at the same time, they enter it and they finish it. So they can submit their assignments. It can be used for things like that, and it's very useful. Most of the universities in Turkey actually use this platform, right, Hocam? Yes. And Canva is another platform for managing coursework, assignments, gradings. Also, in higher education, you probably know that if you have some group assignments, we use Google Docs for real-time collaborative document editing, so we can just do it at the same time and we see where our friend is at. So, okay, she's writing this paragraph, I'm writing this paragraph. Just editing or doing pair work is very useful. Microsoft Teams, I don't like it. I appreciate people who still believes in this Microsoft Teams because it doesn't work for crowded, let's say, classrooms. There are some issues with connection problems and things, but some people, for example, lecturers in London, they like Microsoft Teams. They still use it. Padlet is very useful for ELT students as well. If you're just teaching English, you can have writing assignments. You can just build a virtual bulletin board, and your students can just write some answers to questions or just a paragraph, and they post it there, and you... Is there a problem? I don't... Gitti yine değil mi?
Sesim
Okay.
geliyor.
Sorry for... Yok.
Geliyor.
Ama sizden gelmiyor.
Is there a problem in connection? Is there any problem in connection?
Yeah, we can hear you properly and we can see.
Okay.
All right.
There is some problem in digital technologies, as you know.
We know everything about the online problems because we have a lot of problems here with electricity, with net connection, with net quality. That's why it's okay. We are ready
Okay.
for everything because our conditions are much more difficult in this case, in these terms as yours. That's why we are prepared for everything.
That's true.
Okay.
Yes. So sorry. So yes, as we mentioned, Padlet, we use it for group projects or just posting some written assignments, and we can see it in real lifetime simultaneously as the student writes. You can read it. Yes, and one of the most useful texts for, I think, higher education students may be Grammarly. I'm sure most of you already use it. It's an AI-powered writing assistant. You can use it to coach yourself with your writings, written assignments, and something we also have for speaking is Elsa. I don't know if you ever used it, but it actually gives some practice time individually to students to focus on phonological differences. So it gives you a sentence, or let's say a word, and you just press on the mic button there. It records your voice, and then it gives you some, this can be, let's say, this could have been better. You can just improve yourself in such areas, in this areas. This was like, I think it gives you some points as well. So you can use it to, improve your pronunciation. Your students can use it to improve their pronunciation, and it allows for us to reduce our workload, to design assessment tests for these spoken components, let's say, and give feedback each time for each student. Also, there's another tool called Century Tech, which is an AI-driven platform that tailors content based on student performance. So an example can be for personalized learning, an AI tool that helps students identify weak areas in their language teaching or other areas as well. I remember this had some other contents like mathematics, science, etc. And it suggests resources for improvement. There was something called Google Expeditions in the past, but I think they closed it down in 2021 or 23. I don't remember. It was a virtual reality tool that allowed you to take guided VR tours, like places like South Africa. So you just click on the tour and then you can see it as if you're there. But even though it closed down, there are still some tours that can be reached on the link we provided on the screen. You see GAC Expeditions, that one. So you can still actually use it in your lessons for doing some tasks like task-based learning. I'm just giving some suggestions. So if you're using task-based learning, for example, you can just use it as a source material for your tasks, like give a tour. Maybe it can be a speaking activity about that tour. Let's imagine you're a tour guide, etc. You can just use it, or even it can be even also used for writing tasks as well. However you choose to design it, it can be a very useful source still, because we can reach some of them in this link. Also, as you know, we have a lot of gamification tools these days, but maybe actually this may seem more toward the younger learners, but adult learners also love them as well. So if you're doing a quiz and if you use Kahoot, they become more, competitive. They want to join and they want to do better than their classmates. So it can be also a good source. I don't know if you ever used it. Maybe you did. It's very well known. So after a lecture, you can just pre-made Kahoot quiz. You can just open it and then see if your students have learned it well or not. There's also something called Classcraft, and it's a role-playing game for classroom management. So as an example, your students can engage in team challenges related to classroom management and pedagogical methods, earning points for participation and collaboration. Yes. Would you like to continue more?
No. Okay.
All right. So, as Ramazan Hocam says, by the way, Hocam is like our teacher colleague in Turkish, and we cannot get rid of it. We are so used to it. So I always say like Ramazan Hocam. Yes. So as he says, ChatGPT, AI chatbots, may be the boss of emerging technologies in higher education. So, as you know, we can enhance both the teaching and learning experiences with ChatGPT, and we're going to mention some practical ways to utilize ChatGPT in this context. For example, it can be used to support teaching and course design. So you just have to think up some prompts to give to ChatGPT, and it can just design you a syllabus, like a whole materials for your lessons. It's very easy for ChatGPT, and the more you personalize, the more information you give to ChatGPT, it makes its content better, like more structured. So it's very useful to reduce the workload for teachers to use in these processes, let's say. It can also facilitate student learning. If your students have any trouble understanding the material, they can just ask ChatGPT for some more guidance, and it enhances student engagement and collaboration. Also, you can design some assessment tasks with this. You can just give the topic and then ask ChatGPT to do a quiz, do a multiple choice question test, whatever you want. It makes it possible. So you may have to do some adjustments on it after, but it gives you a good basic first draft, let's say. It also promotes digital literacy and critical thinking skills. So you can discuss with ChatGPT. It's no problem. So you can just use it as a brainstorming partner. And then also it enhances international and cross-cultural collaboration. It has a lot of language support as well. So whichever language you choose, it already knows. And it is also very useful for continuous professional development for educators. And what about the practical applications?
Sorry, my colleague. I want to saying about the ChatGPT.
Close. Yes, here.
Okay. If you are an expert in your fields, my colleagues, it helps you with a lot of things about your
I'm
fields.
that it seems to me. Try to speak again.
Sorry. Okay?
It's okay now.
Okay. Especially in ChatGPT, as I said, I can say some things and I added some my experience about ChatGPT. If you are an expert in your fields, it helps with a lot of things about the fields, and maybe your assistants like that, ChatGPT especially. But you should check it, the giving answers, because sometimes it can be ridiculous answers, and As I said, you must be expert in your field, I think.
Sometimes artificial intelligence is not that expert.
Yeah, and, that's true, Vera, because you must be expert in your field.
A little bit louder, please.
Little bit. You must be expert in your field because the ChatGPT or artificial intelligence is not the expert in your field. Artificial intelligence sometimes maybe your assistants, but you should check. You should check its answers because sometimes ridiculous answers, and you must be checked the prompt. As my colleagues come to say, you have good prompt. Prompt is the comment about yeah. If you have a good comment about the prompt, you will it answers very well activities, syllables, anything else as you want with ChatGPT. But you must be very difficult because maybe sometimes it's not ben aynı fikirde olmamak. ChatGPT doesn't ridiculous because maybe it's a very easy example, but sometimes we have some possibilities. We are very dikkatli olmak. It's we must be careful about especially in artificial intelligence era with ChatGPT. By the way, other digital technologies are integrated with artificial intelligence. All of them, we are very careful this situation, I think. Thank you, my colleagues, and continue with Gamze.
So yes, I see. So, okay, is it okay now?
Okay.
Yes. No, I opened it and then the echo started.
Oh, okay. Is there a problem?
No.
Okay.
It's now.
Okay.
So I see that our time is almost up. So if you'd like, we can just move on to question or answer, whoever you like. I just have some case studies that are left, but it's almost over. So it's up to you. I just saw that we have 15 minutes left. So if you'd like, if you have some questions, maybe we can.
We prepare some real world situation about the digital technology in higher education.
So I would like to comment on the applying of artificial intelligence. So any technology, every technology and any technology was made, created, designed by a person, by human being, and that is why they are very helpful, but they should be really paid attention to the activities to avoid some problems, some confusions. In any case, these technologies, my conclusion, I just listening to you, I compared your way of working and our way of working, your attitude of students and ours. We have been working online. Our university has been working online since the quarantine. We didn't have any offline classes since the quarantine because our quarantine turned into the war restrictions and we're very close to the border. And our students are very often, so these ones who are present here at this binary lecture, so they are working simultaneously with education because they have to work. There are many teachers who left the country and there are many vacancies. That is why many problems, and the motivation of our students is not that high, but still they try to work and the teachers try to apply these technologies not all of them maybe. We try to work with Moodle, we try to work sometimes working teachers and here with Kahoot, with the other things, because they are really helpful. But our main problem is to just join the students, to reach them and to motivate them to work, especially when there is the siren, the air alert, the lack of electricity, outage. But still, we are looking forward to end, this war and to just be able to work like all the civilized educational establishments, like the rest of the world students, and to apply such great technologies, but maybe the reasonable to the reasonable degree, to the reasonable level, to combine properly the offline working, just like your blended teaching, blended learning is, it seems to me, the optimal variant. So you work offline because it is the contact, human contact, including eye contact, and then it is necessary to it should be that the digital technologies included, but it should be natural and just reasonable. It is my view. I hope that you will agree with me.
Definitely. I think using flipped classrooms or blended learning might be more useful because if in that case you have more time to engage with students during your class hours, even if it's online, you still get to engage with them better. You have more time to hear their opinions, so they are active. They're not just there listening, and you're transferring some information to them, so they're more active, they're also in the discussion. So I think that would be more useful. Maybe it may help with these challenges that unfortunately you are facing right now.
So, and our peculiarity also is that our groups are small, or the number of students who join the classes is not that great. That is why we can reach, if the student is active, if she is ready to open the face to join with the camera on and with the microphone on. It's not that bad, but still, really, we live with the hope that someday we shall use everything and be a success. Maybe other questions, or maybe some suggestions, or maybe comments, Lena. Maybe you.
Yeah, I actually kind of write down a few questions. If you don't mind, I will ask like at least one. Yeah. So how, like practically, can institution measure the effectiveness of digital tools in kind of like developing learning outcome of students? Is it possible to measure?
I think if you had to measure the effectiveness of this, I mean, only like AI tools like ChatGPT, it would be close to zero. Because as as my colleague said, yes, ChatGPT or other tools help you understand the ideal maybe situations and the ideal content, ideal learning outcomes for any lesson, but it doesn't have the knowledge of reality, I think. So as a teacher or as a person who works in a program create development or evaluation, so it's not possible to train it to work like that exactly, knowing the realities, the constraints, the limitations, and everything. So uh, this can actually be a great idea for a research article. So you can have a ChatGPT and a lecturer or a person who is specialized in this area, program development and evaluation area, and you have both of them to design, a course or learning outcomes or anything, and then you can have some analysis and see that how effective, how close to human it was. And I think it would be very on brand, very on trend right now. You can publish it.
Yeah, probably in
Yes.
future, in the
So it's
nearest
a
future.
very nice idea.
And my second question is, so basically all of the teachers, yeah, and lectors, they supposed to have those kind of like specific skills to work with those digital tools. Am I right? So
Yes.
did your university provide some probably course or like, computer courses or something like that to support those teachers and like help them to learn how to properly use all of those AI or I don't know, some platforms and stuff like that?
Yes. So on paper, we have a lot of helpful videos that when a teacher starts like using this LMS platform, they can see pre-made videos that show them how this platform is used, how it can be used. But if you ask, do they actually watch it? Like, do they actually use those guidance videos? My answer would be no. So maybe it's because of our, Turkish people don't
It's
like
uh,
to read
it's common.
manuals.
It's common between your nation and our, between our
Yes.
mentalities. It seems
Yes,
to me.
we don't like reading or watching manuals. We just learn on the go. We just learn it during the job, and we manage it quite fine. If you ask me, definitely it works.
In the
But yes,
process, yeah.
there are a lot of videos that help to understand the platform. Like a lot of
Mhm.
videos have been pre-made. Of course, they are available, but do they use it? It's up to them. It's not,
Um,
required. It's not a requirement, let's
so
say.
it's not obligatory, yeah. But
Definitely.
again, for kind of like previous generation of teachers, you know what I'm talking about. It's quite more challenging,
Yes.
to get into, and like sometimes even online videos, some guidances, or some printed, I don't know, methods or something like that. It doesn't actually help. You literally need to be present and teach them. So like
Yes. Some
that's what I
things you
meant.
just need to use yourself and get familiar with it, and then the issues come up, and you just solve them, and step by step, you just find yourself. Yeah, I have
After
the
five
digital
years.
literacy. Yeah, that's.
Thank you for your answer.
Thank you for your very, let's say, insightful questions. And for the first one, I really suggest you to, follow up on that. It's a very nice area.
Yeah, probably in future when I'm gonna have a free time for that. Yeah,
Hopefully.
definitely. Hopefully.
So, any other questions? Any other comments? Any other suggestions? Will it be possible to have one more meeting with you and have some more practical lesson? Will it be? So, are you? It's my
With,
suggestion. It's my question, but it's up to you.
with
I mean, the
me,
practical course of English, for example, like choosing any topic and speaking not on methods but in English, or you are just specialized in teaching methods only.
if you're asking me, I'm actually right now doing my PhD at Middle East Technical University, and I'm taking some courses related to discourse analysis, critical discourse analysis, sociolinguistics. So actually, ELT is not really anymore, let's say, my area of specialty, but I'm more interested in linguistics right now.
Mhm. I
But
see.
I don't know. It's if you have any ideas we can
So
discuss.
maybe we shall discuss it later
Yeah,
if
sure.
it is possible.
Yes.
So, any other questions from the students? The students are present; they were actively listening, but maybe there are still more questions. No, because
Sure.
if not, it will be possible if you. We are not going to take any more of your time. Maybe we shall. No questions, my dear colleagues, my dear students. Then we heartily thank you for your lecture. It was alive. It was just like in life, not that academic, because there were some pauses, but it happens in life. It's quite okay.
Yeah. Thank you. And
Really.
again, sorry for the inconvenience.
So, and by the way, it's interesting. So when we see the Gamze and see the name Gamze and see Ramazan and vice versa, it's a very nice story.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I have another.
The problems with the sound echo.
Is there a problem now?
A little bit louder, if it is possible.
Little bit louder. Okay. It's okay now.
It's okay now. We can hear you.
Okay. Thank you very much. This presentation, dear my colleague Gamze, and my other colleagues, Mürüvvet, we works with same department, Mürüvvet Avcı. It's a mathematicians and doing PhD in research assistants like Gamze in our faculty. If you want another lecture, we will present critical thinking, problem solving with Gamze and Mürüvvet, if you want.
Yeah, we want, of course, we want everything.
Maybe, especially Mürüvvet, interested in daily life in mathematics, as you know, and very funny mathematics things. She can make some presentation about mathematics. It's not okay, Olena.
I'm sorry, I'm allergic to math.
But maybe we can present critical thinking skills, problem solving, or etc. We can present any topics if you want.
So it will be included into our subject, 21st century
Okay.
skills.
21st century skills, critical thinking skill, problem solving.
I know.
Digital literacy. Okay, we can present another topics if you want with Mürüvvet. Mürüvvet, can you speak or can you show your maybe? I can speak right now. Okay.
I see.
Okay. If you want, we can present another day.
So
Another
some
lecture.
other
Okay.
day, we shall
Okay.
agree the date and time, and it will be
Okay.
useful for us. Thank you so
Okay.
much for your suggestion.
Okay. Because I don't have to. Okay.
Mhm. So-
Okay. If you want to adding anything, but we can end up the lecture if you want.
So it's time, really. We have
Okay.
worked for an hour, almost an hour. So we have learned something new, and it was really nice to see, to get acquainted with you. And I do hope that maybe somehow we shall decide how to, Gamze, how to continue our cooperation, because you are a little bit closer to us because of English than Ramazan because of his math. But still, you're very nice people, very nice. Every time we communicate, it's really very nice and useful, and it is useful for our accreditation process, which is going to start very soon. And we need that not only for these official things, but for heartily communication, because it is both the combination of academic things and human things, like the lecture with the elements of discussion and laughter is a great thing as for me. It's
Okay.
my vision.
Okay.
Have
Thank
a
you very
nice
much.
day. Thank you so much.
See you.
It was nice to see you and to hear you and to meet.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
and
so much.
hope to see you.
Hope to see you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.